at the Dolphins United, the platform for Dolphins. You heard me. We back in the house. Boy, I don't know why I do this to myself, but I'm going to try to wrap 3 training camp recaps into one video. Last 3 days, all right? I don't know why I do this to myself. I was supposed to try to put this video out yesterday afternoon. But I was just tired. Let's just be honest. I'm just going to keep it funky with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I be tired. All right? Had church yesterday. I actually preached yesterday. So if you are a Christian, even if you're not, you know, you want to check that out, I'll put it in the link in the description so you can go check out the message. I'll give you a timestamp if you want to just watch the message or see what other stuff be going on in my life, right? If you want to just see that, hey, you know, DP be preaching, what? So go check. I'm not a preacher. Okay? Well, I'm not a pastor or anything, right? But, you know, I do preach at my church from time to time. It's my dad's church. Well, he's the apostle of the church. I do preach from time to time. All right, so, and I know a good amount of y'all are Christians, so if you want to just go check that out, you're more than welcome to. And if you see this channel, there's a lot of crap going on in the world right now. So if you see this channel start to change slightly, where I'm adding more spiritual stuff in, as well as, of course, keeping it Dolphins. But if you just see some certain things start to shift slightly, understand that at the end of the day, I love y'all. But at the end of the day, right, it's about your soul. At the end of the day, all right? I love all of y'all, but I want y'all to have the same gift I got. All right? I want y'all to have salvation the same way I do. All right? The way God changed my life, he can change all of your lives if you're not saved already. All right? So if you see this channel start to switch slightly, know it's because I really got love for y'all. All right? And so I want you to have the best life you can have, and you're not going to have a great one without God. All right? You can have all the treasure in the world, all right? But it doesn't profit a man any treasure in the world if he's going to lose his soul at the end. So, if you see this channel switch slightly, understand that is why. And here's how I feel about it. Because some of y'all going to say, well, you know, you should just keep it Dolphins. Here's what I got to say about that. If everybody else going to have an agenda, I might as well have one too. Except mine is a kingdom-minded agenda. And a positive one, all right? But if everybody gonna have an agenda out there, and you watch all these movies, they all have an agenda or a message behind it, right? Ain't nothing that you watch nowadays that don't have a message behind it or an agenda to push something that's usually negative. If they're gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, because they're not gonna one-up me in pushing out their agenda, so I'm gonna push out the agenda of Christ's love, plain and simple, all right? And if you got a problem with that, then when I see the subscriptions dip, I'll know the people that really ain't here to rock with your boy are finally gone and we can move forward. All right, so I'll see y'all on the other side if that's you. But for the people that's willing to rock with your boy and understand what I'm about moving forward, because I've always been about this, but I've kept my channel for the most part strictly Dolphins. But if you see it start to shift, all right, and it was going to start to shift at some point because that was always my plan. If you see it start to shift, that's why. I'm just letting you know up front. Now, let's get into, once again, the video of me preaching will be in the description below. I'll timestamp it, where to go to, where the message started at. You don't have to watch the whole thing if you don't want to, but it's going to be there for your viewing pleasure. All right, let's start with Friday. Friday's practice. That's Friday's practice, all right? Let's move on to Sunday. No. All right. Friday, we don't got too much to say about Friday. Let's just say this about Friday. It wasn't good for the offense. All right, now it was real good for the defense, and we love to see it. 12 plus sacks. Everybody got it on sacks that was available to get it on sacks. Okay? Everybody. Namely, Riley got in on sacks. Mainly him, though, because he had like 3. Wilkins got in on sacks. Chubb got in on sacks. Like 2+ each. Okay? So, offense was not doing well. It was a bunch of blitz packages. Riley was coming up straight through there. No problems whatsoever. No evasion whatsoever. They just let him right on in. Okay? That's the type of stuff got to clean up as an offense. And they said it was everybody involved. Running backs, quarterback not pointing stuff out, line not pointing stuff out and not communicating and not shifting the line one way or the other to pick up the guy. It was just a lot of stuff going on offense. No communication, where they were just letting guys in free. And then they were getting beat on top of that. And then running backs wasn't helping. Wide receivers weren't getting open. Coverage sacks. It was just a mess. Quarterbacks holding on to the ball too long. Just a mess. Across the board. Now, there was some good stuff from the offense as well. One-on-ones especially. Tua threw a nice pass to Ezukama. All right, I can't remember who he beat, but he's the one that caught it. And there was a nice pass after a sack. Once again, Tua got flushed out of the pocket, and Agba was back there, kind of had him, and he threw it anyway and ended up completing it. Nice pass. It was wobbly, but it was still a nice pass out there to Wilson. Jumped up, tapped his toes in, caught the pass about 15 yards down the field. It was okay. All right, but it was after a sack. Now, before I go any further, I do want to talk about some of these sacks because they're killing me. All right? We can't call every defensive end that's going by Tua a sack. We can't. Because Tua's not standing in one place. Tua is moving, okay? I see the videos myself. Tua is not standing in one place. He's standing in a spot, and then he's moving up in the pocket. If a defensive lineman goes by him, it doesn't necessarily mean it's because he's letting up. It's because Tua moved off the spot. Okay, now granted, he can't come in full speed at Tua on the spot Tua's at. I get that. And I understand why you're giving them the benefit of the doubt. But also you got to understand that you got to give Tua a little bit of credit as well for being able to move in the pocket, because that's what he's shown us throughout his career. He's not a guy that gets sacked a lot. Okay? That's never been Tua, where he was a guy that was going to get sacked a whole lot, because he moves well in the pocket and gets rid of the football, not necessarily out of bounds. He'll just throw one up and it'll be a 50-50. All right, now we needed him to do a little more throwing it away. He did a little bit better with that last year, but he has a tendency to just throw it up into traffic, but he gets rid of the football a lot, okay? He's real slippery in the pocket. You can't always, just because you think you got him, don't mean you got to him. All right, there's plenty of guys that's come in free that we would give a sack to. All right, let me put it plainly to y'all with this play right here that happened last year. Do y'all remember the play against the Ravens where he threw the touchdown to Craycraft? Y'all remember that play? The guy came straight in, unevaded, to Tua. What did Tua do? Tua spun him, got outside the pocket, and threw the pass to Craycraft for a touchdown. In practice, y'all gonna call that a sack. They're going to call that a sack. In practice, it's a sack. It don't matter who's there. Tua would have got sacked, but the guy let up, and he spun out, and he hit Craycraft for a touchdown. If that was practice, that's what they would have said. Okay? That is part of Tua's game. Tua can do that. So you can't just call all of those sacks. Okay? Don't just tell me, oh, it's a would-be sack, because he can make guys miss. All right? He can make guys miss. Sometimes it's not a sack. All right, and I'm going to let you know one of the plays I feel warranted a sack in a second. Let's move on. Sunday, first practice open to all of the fans, right? Zach Thomas comes out. By the way, defense killed it on Friday's practice. Love what I saw from the defense. Love the blitzing. Love all that, all right? Appreciate what they was doing in the backside too, keeping the wide receivers from getting separation, which also caused some of the sacks because they was patting the football in the backfield, all right, at quarterback. All right. I got to give the defense love, right? This ain't just about the offense. It's about the defense too, and it's looking like it could be a top 10. On Sunday, Zach Thomas was in the house. He was going ahead. He was on the mic, you know what I'm saying, hyping up the crowd and showing us his Hall of Fame status, right? Now, he's a Hall of Famer, so he was giving us the Hall of Fame glow. Appreciated him having him out there. And I don't know if he just hyped up the fans because it seemed like he hyped up the offense and the defense too. Offense came out firing, all right? Soon as they hit teams, everybody was throwing them. First and foremost, Mike White. Scoop got him, all right? 50-some yards to Waddle. Beautiful pass. Just textbook. Perfect spiral. It was in the breadbasket. Two guys covering. It was the perfect spot, perfect angle. Mwah, chef kiss pass. Okay? It was beautiful to see. Then Tua stepped back. They said that this could have been a would-be sack, right? But the tackles held their guys up. Actually, the right tackle pushed his guy inside, if you look at a different angle. And then Lamb, I believe it was, brought his end around, which was probably Chubb, brought him around to a stepped up and heaved the ball downfield to Tyreek Hill, who was open, and he made a beautiful play. All right? Now, who had the better pass out of the two? Mike White or Tua? And this is going to be controversial, right? Because people don't like to really do this. But Mike White had the way better pass, okay? For one, Mike White was throwing against double coverage. And it wasn't that it was a lucky pass because the guy was double covered. No, he threw Waddle open. Okay? Because if he would have let that pass up the field, it's incomplete. He threw it to a spot where Waddle and only Waddle was going to be able to make a play on it. And it was a beautiful, beautiful pass. Tyreek Hill was open. So you could just lay the football out there. Now, some people were like, oh, it was real short and he had to wait on it. That's a pass that Tua doesn't need to put in an exact spot like Mike had to do. That's why Mike's pass was way better. The degree of difficulty for Mike was way more, okay? When it comes to Tua, the degree of difficulty was not that hard. Just lay it up for Tyreek Hill. Make sure he can catch it. You don't got to make it too difficult. Now, it wasn't a perfectly in stride, but it was in stride enough for Tyreek Hill. It's Tyreek Hill. In the blink of an eye, he'll make you miss. If it's one guy back there, I like our chances, and he's gone. Doesn't matter if he has to cut back or not. Or, it'd be perfect if he could just get up the sideline. But you're not going to have that on every play, right? It's not just going to be perfect on every play. But either way, I like what I saw from him. When they went to red zone, from Tua on that play, when they went to red zone as well in the first half of practice, Tua hit Mostert for a beautiful pylon throw. All right, now, this is the same type of pylon throw, if y'all remember last year in the second Buffalo game, where Mostert dropped the ball. Y'all remember that, right? Ooh, I was upset. And then after that, they threw it to Sherfield, and Sherfield tried to go low to catch it, and he couldn't catch it, and they said that Tua threw too low, and y'all remember that? And then that touchdown drive that we didn't get ended up costing us the game. Yes, Mostert finally caught the one in practice that he missed in that Buffalo game. Okay? Beautiful pass, beautiful play. Then Tua went and got I can't remember his name right now for whatever reason. Alec Ingold, yes. He went and hit Alec Ingold on the left hash, gave it to him. Yak yards, all right? Now, this is a guy, I mean, he's sneaky. Ingold is sneaky now. He more like a tight end than a fullback. He got the ball, went 10 yards into the end zone, right? Then he also hit Tyreek Hill on I don't care what anybody says, Tyreek Hill scored on that play, okay? I don't see why they had him down at the 1 yard line or they said it was a 5 yard pass because I don't care. He scored on that play. So that's 3 touchdowns right there for Tua, okay? I'm not going to count the first one as a touchdown, the deep ball. So that's 3 touchdowns right there for Tua, in my opinion, because I saw the play. It looked like a touchdown to Tyreek Hill to me. I don't care what anybody says, all right? Now, you slow it up and you show me a guy really coming to a stop and not putting his all into. I mean, you can't hit anyway. It's practice without pads. But you show me that, and then maybe But fast as I saw the play, and I ain't had no slowdown, it looked like a Tyreek touchdown. Loved it. Then he had another touchdown. I can't remember who the back was coming out the backfield, but looking. Saw nobody open, dumped it off on the right hash. Swing, running back swing play, went on into the end zone. So that's 4 touchdowns in the goal line, red zone type situation. And I love to see that from Tua because that's what you want. When you get into the money area, you got to convert touchdowns, not field goals. So for Tua on that, round of applause, all right? The other quarterbacks, they did their thing too. So first half, offense was eating. Offense said, all right, we got you 12 sacks. Christian Wilkins, who was just berating the whole entire offense on Friday. We got you 12 sacks, homeboy. Take these touchdowns. Take them. All right. So then, what did the defense do? They said, Zach Thomas is here. We ain't going to go out like that. Nah, he a fellow defensive player. We going to show him how we gets down. Oh, they start coming. All right, then that's when it was 2 steps back to pass, would be sack. 2 steps back to pass, sack. 2 steps back to pass, would be sack. They hand the ball off to Mostert, no gain. 2 yard loss, sealer. You hand the ball, it was just play after play after play. Breakup passes. Cam Smith doing his thug thizzle, just blocking stuff. Get that out of here. PBU here, PBU there. Holland doing his thing. Long doing his thing. All right, but even though David Long, we're going to talk about him a little bit more because of practice that happened today. But he was doing his thing as well. All right. Defense came to play in the second half. In the second half, they came to play. They were the ones showing the offense up. So it ended up being an even day. First half, went to the offense. Second half, went to the defense. It was even. That's not what you want for the offense because practice before, on Friday, defense dominated the entire practice. You move on to Sunday, you expecting the offense to dominate the whole thing. Defense said, no. Nah, ain't going to be none of that. Even practice. At the end, Tua threw a touchdown to Cedric Wilson. He was wide open in the back of the end zone, by the way. That one was a sack. Okay? That one was a sack. All right. Now, let's move on. First practice in pads was Monday, today. All right? And yesterday, if you're watching this video on Tuesday. That was a good practice. Some physical hitting going on. Some guys that ain't supposed to be hitting that hard was hitting too hard. All right, I can't remember the guy's name, but defensive tackle that brought Mostert all the way down to the ground. You can't do that. Okay, great play by you. You ran straight through the offensive line, and you did your thing. But you can't do that. You can't bring the running back all the way to the ground. It's 2023. You could have did that in 2006. But 2023, you can't do that. All right. So just take it easy on our guys. Do that to the Atlanta boys next week. All right. Do that to them. All right. Because I think we got a joint practice with them. Do that to them. That's what you need to do that with. All right. But anyway, let's go a little bit before that. Offensive line, defensive line, getting it on one-on-ones. From what I heard, offensive line held their own. All right. Especially the guard, Feeney, held his own. Feeney did his thing. Hunt did his thing. I heard Lamb was doing his thing all practice again. This time with pads on. That's what you want to hear. That's what you want to hear. I also did hear Christian Wilkins was handling that work. He was doing his thing as well. All right, so Christian, he that fiery type of guy. When them pads come on, that's what he want to do anyway. All right, he want to get after it. So those guys, they were doing their things. Offense, defense. Seemed like offense won a little bit more than the defense because it wasn't as many defensive guys getting off like it was on the offense. All right. Then we move on to practice. I'll be honest. Tua wasn't that great. He wasn't. Okay? To me, Skyler was really good. Now, Skyler did come out first play, threw a pick right away, but to Bethel. But that pick wasn't that bad because he threw it to a spot where it could have been a 50-50 ball. And I think it was Ezukama did not run back to the football. So it ended up being a pick. Like you can't just it wasn't a hitch, right? It was more of a crosser that he didn't come back to. So it seemed to me like it was a crosser coming across the middle of the field. And then instead of flattening his route, he was fading up the field a little bit rather than flattening his angle. So then Bethel was able to come underneath it and undercut him, which you cannot allow. You cannot allow a DB to get under you. You've got to flatten out that route. He didn't do so. He didn't come back to the football. It got picked off, okay? Ball placement too a little bit because the ball is slightly behind, but if you cut that route like you're supposed to, then the ball's not going to be that behind because you're taking an angle back to the football. But anyway, that's the technical stuff. Either way, it's an interception. It counts as an interception. That's what it is. After that, Skyler did his thing, though. All right, he was throwing nice passes in the middle of the field. Tua had some really nice passes. Threw a real nice pass to Tyreek Hill. Threw a nice pass to Ezukama. Threw a nice pass, couple nice passes to Smythe. He had a decent day. There was one that they said that was a sack that Tyreek Hill caught. That wasn't no sack. Okay? Once again, Tua has the ability to move in the pocket. I don't care what you say. Chubb went by. I don't care nothing about that. Tua has the ability to move in the pocket. If Tua is moving, stepping up in the pocket, stepping the left side, right side, he has that opportunity to do the same thing. It's a completion. Let's call it a completion because we've seen Tua make guys miss before. Let's call that a completion. I'm not going to just sit there and call everything a would-be sack just because a guy went by you. I'm not doing that. I'm not. Okay. Mike White, he threw some nice passes as well in this practice. All right. But once again, also, A-Chain had a real nice run. Gaskin had a real nice run. Real nice run from Gaskin. All right. So those two, they got off nice runs. But then defense was like, all right, we're going to go ahead and shut this down. David Long said, all right, we got pads on, so we about to start hitting. Boy, he blew up like 3 plays in the backfield. He was just, look, I don't want to get too excited. But I know another guy, and they're not in the same league right now. But you got to start somewhere, right? I know a guy that's 5'11", 225, that just went to the doggone Hall of Fame. With number 54. Y'all know him? All right, he was at practice literally the day before. And they said that he was too small. He wasn't going to last. He wasn't going to be able to get off blocks, and he wasn't going to be able to fish through the garbage and get to the running back play after play. And he was going to end up getting injured at some point because he was too small. Y'all remember all that? The man went on to go to the Hall of Fame. David Long has the ability to be good. I don't care what they say about size. When you got heart and you have instinct, that's what you need. He's got heart. He's showing he has instinct. When you have instinct, that half a second that it would take another running back, which would get him washed in the garbage, doesn't take you because your instincts kick in, which gives you the angle a little bit faster where the offensive line can't get to you like he could have if you took a half a second longer to diagnose. He's not that guy. He has great instincts. So when he steps back and he reads something, he shoots for it and he gets to his mark. That's what you want from a linebacker. That's what Baker doesn't have. He was thinking too much. He wasn't relying on instinct. So he's back there. And when he finally sees it, he's like, and then he goes, he gets washed. Whereas David Long, he gets back there, he sees it, he's out. There's no there's none of that. He's out of there. And that's how you see him get into the backfield on those 3 plays to make plays happen. Doesn't mean that you can't get washed sometimes. But he's really good at coming off blocks, and he's really good at diagnosing and getting to a spot. Whether he's going to bend you back like he did on Friday, where there were certain ones, he was having guys bend back. All right, he was the force player, so he went up the field and forced you back inside. When that happens, that's cool too, but also you're making plays. You're making plays. You're stopping them in the backfield yourself. Sure tackler as well. All right, he's a guy that can really tackle, and he's a guy that can play pass coverage too. All around linebacker, kind of reminds me of Zach Thomas in a way because he was an all around side-to-sideline guy. All right, now was Zach Thomas the fastest guy? No, but he had plenty enough speed, didn't he? Because he was sideline to sideline. He could defend the pass, had good amount of interceptions in his career, could get to the quarterback, and he could tackle. All right, he could short enough tackle, and boy, did he have the best instincts we ever saw. All right, so David Long has a real potential to be something real, real good. So he started making plays. Christian started making plays. Chubb was in there, started making plays. Okay, Phillips, by the way, on Friday he wasn't there. On Sunday, eating. On Monday, eating. All right, eating. That dude is a problem. He's a beast. Okay, we have a good defense. Cam Smith is just straight playing so well right now. Igbenogany's holding his own right now, by the way. He another one. X, when he's in there, he's holding his own. Wide receivers, as you have seen, unlike last year, are not running wide open like they once were. It's just not happening the same way it was at last year. These guys are learning. They're getting better. All right. Teron Armstead is off PUP as well. He's coming back into the fold. All right. We'll see what happens tomorrow and the next day, and then I'll put a video out. I'll holler at y'all in the next week. I already know what it is. Fins up till we die. Let me know how you feeling about practice in the comment section. I'm out.